According to Genevieve Marnin, if someone wants to purchase the additional rider for their insurance, it could cost anywhere from 1 to 32 cents a month. She said that's hard to compare to an abortion that could cost around $450. If a mailbox is damaged due to a plow truck hitting it directly, the county will pay up to $30 for a replacement. However, if the damage is caused from the snow coming off the plow, then it's up to the homeowners to replace it. Members in the Academy are given the opportunity to put themselves in officers' shoes and decide whether or not to use force in each scenario. Freeze! Make sure you set timers and stay alert when cooking food. It's easy to get distracted by TV and phones. So when it comes to your safety and your family's safety, everything else can wait. Susan Berry said her son TJ was a star athlete with all A's and determined to go to dental school. The family first noticed the weight loss when he took off his shirt at a pool party the summer going into 9th grade.
That was when I saw him and he came in and I'm like, TJ, how much weight have you lost, bud? I said, you look way too skinny.
Susan Berry didn't waste any time. She was on the phone the next day to try and figure out what was wrong with her son. The doctor's response was that TJ had an eating disorder, and so began an 8-year battle with a disease that took over his mind, relationships, and his health. TJ's heart gave out on Valentine's Day in 2007 at the age of 22.
When they sent home 22 boxes from Marquette University, one of the boxes contained his lockbox. It was journals, photographs he had taken of himself, poetry that he had written.
Susan compiled his story into a book, Dying to Be Perfect, intended as a guide for parents, and she hoped had the ability to save other people that were struggling with this disease. However, one of the biggest problems Susan said they faced with TJ was finding the right person to turn to for help. A healing place opened in Jackson, Michigan this year with an eating disorder clinic named after TJ and another girl, Britt, who both lost their lives to eating disorders. Britt and TJ's place has therapists that have overcome eating disorders themselves and can relate to their clients.
Knowing, what it does to your mind and the behaviors of it is like we can see it, we can understand it, we can give them hope that recovery is possible.
Susan Berry said that one of the best parts about having Britt in TJ's place is she now has somewhere to send the concerned parents and individuals that show up at her front door.
I think it gives a story, and I think it helps people relate to just the sorrow that comes with this illness, but also the legacy of their families and of Britt and TJ and the hope that their families want to have for other individuals to survive.
I showed that this could be anybody's kid. No one ever called me up and said, we're really worried about TJ. That's how good he was at hiding it. And that's how low the awareness is.
Susan said she knows TJ had more to give than the 22 years he was on this earth. So he continues to live on by affecting and saving lives every day. In Meridian Township, Melissa Sebring, Home TV. In 2012, Governor Rick Snyder vetoed a bill passed by the House and the Senate that would offer abortion coverage as a separate rider for insurance companies, as opposed to being included with maternity coverage.
And we probably met with his people about 4 times, really trying to negotiate out in good faith what about the bill we could tweak that would make him happy, etc. He just wasn't going to budge.
So Right to Life of Michigan took it into their own hands with the Citizens Initiative process. They collected about 315,000 signatures in support of the bill and brought it back to the Michigan legislators in December.
We actually don't anticipate this lowering abortion rates. What we do think is that pro-life taxpayer dollars are not going to go to subsidize insurance premiums that pay for abortion.
The bill passed, and Governor Snyder's approval was not needed, making Michigan the 24th state to enact this law. But it was done in a way some say is anti-democratic.
I was raped when I was in college, and I thought it was important that my colleagues see the face of women that they are going to impact, since they wouldn't listen to anyone testify.
According to Genevieve Marnin, if someone wants to purchase the additional rider for their insurance, it could cost anywhere from 1 to 32 cents a month. She said that's hard to compare to an abortion that could cost around $450.
It's a pervasive agenda to eliminate our ability to make choices over our own bodies.
Marnin said last year only 3% of the abortions conducted were covered by insurance. The rest were paid for out of pocket. However, Senator Whitmer says it's about people not having access to that procedure.
It's really this sweeping law that has absolutely zero compassion for women who are victims of rape or incest. because it now says that their private insurance can't cover their procedure.
This will continue to be an issue in the upcoming election year and could change the makeup of the legislators. For Focal Point, I'm Melissa Sebring. With a record-breaking winter, many schools and businesses have experienced snow days and cold days, with temperatures hitting far into the negatives. However, there's one job that never has a day off, unless it's a Sunday, that is.
They have met the challenge this year. They have dressed appropriately. We have given service talks. They've had heat warmers inside their gloves to help keep their hands warm, and so they know the drill about dressing properly and layering and that type of thing.
While the mail carriers are doing their job, so are the plow truck drivers.
Especially in these heavy snows that we've been having this winter, and with the front plows on our trucks, that snow comes off at pretty high velocity, and it's heavy and icy, and that can easily damage a mailbox.
If a mailbox is damaged due to a plow truck hitting it directly, the county will pay up to $30 for a replacement. However, if the damage is caused from the snow coming off the plow, then it's up to the homeowners to replace it. Conklin said that this season they've had to replace more than 200 mailboxes in Ingham County. For the rest of the homeowners who are left with a mailbox buried by snow, the post office offers some suggestions.
They need to clear it enough so that the carriers can drive up to the mailbox, service it, and then be able to drive away.
However, if you're unable to clear the area so that a carrier is not in danger,
they can, come in and they can place their mail on hold. Some people have rented post office boxes for the winter.
Todd and Conklin both hope that everyone's learned from this winter and will be better prepared for next year. To welcome Earth Week, the Meridian Township Parks and Recreation Department organized a community-wide cleanup event on Saturday, April 19th. The proposed location for a new fire station may be one step closer to completion. And that's why the book and Brett and TJ's place and everything is such a nice outlet for people that are going through a similar thing. For some, where to buy or rent a new home can be one of life's toughest decisions. That's why the Greater Lansing Housing Coalition is working to make living in the Tri-County area a little easier. And possibly an increase in minimum wage as well when we come back to Meridian Magazine, your source for community news.